Hey everyone, and welcome to Crossroads Church. I'm so glad that you joined us today. I'm Hannah Shepard, and I'm here with my friend Justin. He's a worship leader, right?
That's true.
He doesn't do this often, so it's his first time.
How do I do this? What do I do?
Well, you stand and smile and wave.
Okay.
That's the first step. So hey everyone,
Like this?
so glad you're here. Yep, we're starting a new series today called Thrive This Winter. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hannah, it's fall. You're holding a pumpkin spice latte, which is amazing because it is fall. But we want you to thrive this winter, not just survive. And winter is coming. So we got some practical tools to help you get to that next level. It looks like you have a pumpkin spice latte also.
False. This is a pickled spinach liquor. It is tangy a little bit.
Tell the good folks at home where they can get that from.
You can get, it's homemade. Yep, I get the pickles and the spinach out in the garden.
Okay, today we're gonna talk about an exciting new message and hear from our teaching pastor, Kyle Ranson, about marriage. Now, I don't want you to tune out if you're not married. This is not the time to turn off the television or wherever you're watching. It's the time to tune in because this message applies to everyone, no matter what their relationship status is, and it can apply to any relationship. So if you're looking for a way to make things stronger, Kyle is gonna talk to us a little bit about that today. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Kyle, one of the teaching pastors with Crossroads, and I believe that today is critical because today is about a widespread and yet almost completely unaddressed lie that wants to steal from you. It wants to snatch one of the very best experiences that God has designed right out of your hands. It's a lie all about love and marriage, and its carnage is piling higher and higher every single day. And if you don't get wise to it, you may be next. Now, if you're married, if you're thinking about getting married, if you ever have been married, this message is for you. Because the truth is, every relationship starts out the same. Starts out with a spark, a flame, there's a fire between you, there's a connection that burns bright. But then all too quickly, the winter comes. The spring turns to summer, the leaves start to fall, start to fade, the cold sets in, the fire that burned brightly starts to flicker and grow faint, and you wonder, can the flames ever be reignited? If that's where you're at today, you're not alone. There was a recent study done that said the divorce is up a shocking 34% since the start of COVID, and it's even higher among young couples. One article that details the study in the New York Post said this. They also found that newlyweds took the hardest hit. In fact, 20% of couples who sought divorce were married within the past 5 months or less, compared to just 11% in 2019, doubling the rate. Now, why are all these marriages, especially the young ones, the one that literally had a spark and a flame only months ago, why are they burning to the ground? Let me just say, by the way, if you're listening and you've been divorced, please, please, please don't hear condemnation today. Do not. I know divorce is painful and it's complicated. You may have done everything you can to keep the marriage alive, and they still may have left. If that's you, hear grace, give me grace today, and hang with me, because I believe your trust in marriage can get resurrected today. Here's the truth. Everyone, at some point, usually multiple, will question their marriage. It starts as this little whisper in the very back of your head after yet another conversation goes sideways. It sounds like, man, do I really want to keep doing this? I mean, what if it never changes? Or I think I'm just the easiest thing for her to blame all her problems on. Or gosh, he doesn't care about me. I just want to go live my life. I think I'd be happier without her. Or I'd be free to sleep with whoever I wanted if he was gone. Or we just got married too young. You know, maybe we just didn't know enough about ourselves. Now, I don't know where you are with that voice. Maybe you've heard it, maybe you've been fighting it, or maybe you've been listening. Maybe you've moved out, maybe you've already filed your divorce papers, or maybe you just heard it for the first time yesterday. But no matter where you are, I believe a successful, thriving, life-giving, unmatched by anything is possible for you. A marriage that's unbelievable, it's possible for you. And today I'm gonna tell you how to get it. But I have to be upfront about what it costs, because it does have a cost, and it's not a small one. It will cost you everything. But you know, there's a better question to ask than what does it cost? It's what is it worth? There's a parable in the Bible in Matthew 13 where Jesus tells where a man goes out and he goes to this field and he starts searching around the field and he finds buried treasure hidden in the field. And so he goes out, he sells everything he has, and he buys the field. Why? Because he was smart enough not to focus on what it costs. He was focused on what it was worth, and it was worth everything. There was treasure buried in it. So what's a great marriage worth? It is worth more than everything you have. There is no other human relationship that can match the joy, the safety, the satisfaction, the complete unity and love of marriage. None. There's treasure in it. How in the world would you get it? Well, according to God, there is a way, and it all comes down to the match. Dating is all about the match, isn't it? That's basically what you do. You go out on date after date. You ask a bunch of questions, how many kids do you want? What kind of music do you like? And you just hope to find a match. Oh, you want 3 kids? Me too. This might have a shot. You like the same music as... That's out of tune. You like the same music as me? Awesome, this is gonna be great. Question after question, and if you find a good match, nice. Then you get engaged and married and hope it worked out, hope that you were right. And if you were right, you stay married, and if you got it wrong or you weren't that good of a match, or if one of you changes because of the weight of the last 8 months, has changed you, or the fit doesn't match anymore, well, then you get divorced, and that's just kind of how it works. It's all about the good match. Now, Sarah and I, to be honest, we were helped out with our match. We had a matchmaker, someone who saw us and was like, oh, you guys would be perfect together, just like these mugs, absolutely perfect. So he set us up. His name is Paul Owens. He's part of the Uptown Crossroads staff. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it, by the way. He set us up without us even knowing it. Got us together and thought we'd be a good match. And early on, there was amazing signs. It was great. I remember the first conversation, I discovered that Sarah loved dark beer, sports, and steak. It was the holy trinity of stuff that mattered to me at 24 years old. It was amazing. I was like, this is great. Now, that's a fairly typical story up to that point. But this is where the story gets weird. Because see, 1 month into our relationship, Sarah and I went on the very first go trip ever in the history of Crossroads to South Africa. And on our first night there, we're having this conversation. I was talking about, whatever, the day and what we were hoping for the trip, something like that. In the middle of the conversation, mid-sentence, I'm talking to her, and this voice comes out of nowhere and drops in the back of my mind. It was a voice that I immediately knew was God's. How? I have no idea. I just knew it was. And the voice said, "This is your wife." And then this makes it even crazier. At the exact same moment, as I freeze mid-sentence, I see Sarah, and her face all of a sudden just goes blank. She's like, what? It's at the same exact time that voice drops into her head and said, "This is your husband." And we both just gulped and looked at each other and stared for what felt like forever. I think I'm the first one who talked, and I basically just what did you hear? And she's like, I heard that you're my husband. And I was like, it's crazy. I heard that you're my wife. I hadn't even kissed her yet. It's insane. Listen, here's the point. God literally matched us. And I know that sounds insane, so here, let's verify that story really quick with Sarah.
Why are you don't take a picture of me?
I'm not taking a picture of you.
What are you doing?
Taking a video of you.
Why?
Because I have a question for you. I just told everybody our story of God telling us to get married in South Africa, and I feel like they don't believe me. So can you kind of verify the facts real quick?
We went to Africa. The Lord spoke audibly and told us, Kyle, this is your wife, and Sarah, this is your husband, at the same time.
Then what happened?
Immediately after?
Yeah.
We just stared at each other. Did you just hear what I just heard?
Okay, who talked first?
Me, I think.
Okay, I thought it was me.
No, I think it was me. I don't like uncomfortable silence.
Okay. Then we got married?
Yeah.
And everything was awesome and easy?
Sure.
She absolutely hates being on camera, and I just want you to know, I risked sleeping on the couch to get that video for you because you have to get the point. I have experienced the absolute pinnacle of getting a perfect match. God himself matched us. Did you catch that? I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, that's cool, Kyle. No, you definitely have nothing to say to me whatsoever, because if God had matched my marriage, I'll bet it'd be great too. Now, I get it, but like, why do you think that? You think it because you believe what the world has taught you to believe so deeply you don't even question it. That a successful marriage comes down to how well you match, how you fit together. The world says that what you need to find is somebody who matches you so well they just make you happy without even trying. That, my friends, is the lie, and it will destroy you. I know because I've experienced the pinnacle of being matched. And yet that match has mattered exactly 0% in the success of my marriage. And it will matter exactly 0% in yours too. After God said to get married, we did, like really quickly, because like God himself said to. So quick timeline. We started dating in February. God matched us in April. In May, I asked her to marry me, and we bought a house together, which she lived in until we got married, which wasn't a very long wait because we got married in September, which means on our first Valentine's Day, we had already been married for almost half a freaking year, which was insane. It was honestly, it was like, so, wife, like, what do you like to do typically on Valentine's Day? What was your name again? It was like Susan or Sandy. You're like, I don't know. Which meant we got to know each other after we walked down the aisle, after we signed the mortgage together. And that's when we discovered, despite what God thought, we were the world's worst match. Like, we're the exact opposite in every single way. She's an introvert, I'm an extrovert. She's a planner, I'm spontaneous. She's a morning person, and I do my best creative work late into the night. She's safety conscious, and I gotta be honest, I completely zoned out right after you started talking about safety. We were an awful match, and it was rough. I was honestly just really hoping I hadn't made a mistake, and that somehow, some way, we could still prove to be a good match. So I did the only logical thing I could think of, and I made a plan to fix it. And by it, I mean her. I decided I would change her to match me, to be the spouse that everyone wants, the one that fits you so well, they just make you happy. So I tried to get her to hang out with people more, tried to get her to be more spontaneous, more risk-loving, and to be honest, it almost killed us. And I wonder about you. Is this what you're placing your hope in right now? That your girlfriend or your fiance, your wife, your husband, that they'll change to become a good match for you? That she'll just get okay with seeing friends as much as you like to see friends. That he'll just get okay with planning out your calendar the way you like to plan out your calendar, as far as you like to do it. That she'll just embrace your hobbies and how you want to spend money. If so, you're obsessing over the wrong match. I'm telling you, that match utterly does not matter. It doesn't. If you want a thriving marriage, there's a completely different match that should be getting all of your attention. One good reason to get married is you get a lot of free stuff. Now, I don't know who the genius is that invented gift registries, but cheers to that person. Guys, this is great, but it could be better. See, I wanted to register for practical stuff, like stuff that you actually need, like a table saw and a kegerator, maybe a hot tub, and allow me to just let you down gently. That's not how it works. Instead, you have to learn this entire new set of mysterious, intimidating vocabulary. Terms like duvet cover, which, friends in college, this is an actual thing people care about. It's basically like an incredibly expensive and an unnecessary wrapper for a blanket. That's actually what it is. You have to buy it, then you have to buy a blanket to put inside it to make it useful. I just imagine there was a big brainstorm with the blanket company, like maybe sales were down or whatever, and they're like, we gotta turn this thing around. What are we gonna do? They're all around a table, and Carl from accounting, he shyly raises his hand. He's like, guys, I have an idea. What if we sell the outside of the blanket separately from the inside? We could charge people twice. He sits back in his chair. The boss stands up. She shook her head. She's like, Carl, that's a terrible idea. And everyone else is like, yeah, Carl, typical stupid idea, Carl. Jeez, why don't you shut up, Carl? And then Lauren from marketing, she slowly raises her hand. She says, actually, that could work if we named it something French sounding, like duvet cover. And everyone's like, dang it, you just might be right, Lauren. It's a great idea. People will buy anything if they think it's from France, anything. This crap. Pamplemousse, whatever this is, LaCroix. This is awful. People fall for it, think it's from France. Oh, it tastes like TV static. It's awful. Ugh.
See, I gotta disagree with Kyle. I like LaCroix, except when it's lukewarm. Nobody likes that. It makes me feel kind of fancy, you know?
Everyone likes to feel
That's right.
fancy, but I gotta tell you, I gotta agree with Kyle. It tastes
For real.
exactly like static. True words have been said.
I don't even know what that means.
If you are in the practice of giving, or if you would like to partner with us financially to help spread this message of hope, you can do that right now.
Yeah, you can do that just like I do at crossroads.net/give. And now, let's get back to Kyle.
Here's the thing. The duvet cover, the dishes, all the crap you get when you get married, those are fantastic. It's fun to get gifts. When I got married, Brian Tom gave me a nice gift, gave me a set of steak knives that I still use to this day. So thanks for those, BT. Excellent gift. But those aren't the only gift you get when you get married. See, the moment you walk down the aisle, there's another gift that's in your hand. What's that gift? It's a set of matches. And this isn't any ordinary set of matches. This is a special set of matches because every single day when you wake up, a new one appears in your hand. And every day you will light one and you will burn something to the ground. And friends, there's only two choices of what to light on fire, either yourself or your marriage. See, the world says that a great marriage comes from finding a good match. It doesn't. It doesn't. A great marriage doesn't come from finding a good match. A great marriage comes from the great use of a match. That's it. And see, friends, the only match that matters is the one you're holding right now. Fires are pretty cool. I mean, you might be thinking, like, that's a really good metaphor, Kyle, but what does this have to do with the Bible? Well, everything. Do you know that fire is all over the Bible? To the point where one of the nicknames for God is literally the consuming fire. Deuteronomy 4:24 says, "For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God." And that's not the only place fire shows up. It's literally everywhere. God guided the Israelites by night using a pillar of fire. God spoke to Moses out of the burning bush. Elijah calls down fire from heaven. John the Baptist even said that Jesus will baptize with fire. But that's not the most prominent use of the word fire in the Bible. The word fire is most associated with one thing, the system of sacrifices. Now, quick little overview of Old Testament sacrificial system, which I know you're excited about. There are basically 5 of them. All of them have little nuances and differences between them, but the main idea in all was the exact same. You would take something as a stand-in for you, you would kill it, you'd put it on a big old pile of wood and you'd light it on fire and let the flames completely consume it as a sign of your devotion to God. Now, this wasn't just something that happened in ancient Judaism. This is all old world religions across the world, regardless of time period, geography, anything. You find these systems of sacrifices, and the idea is the same. The way you prove your devotion to the divine is through sacrifice. It's actually the only true way to prove your commitment. Before you go judging that as, like old and barbaric or whatever, just think about it for a second. Just think about this, because you have the same belief. You know this to be true. Your closest friends, the ones who you love the most, you'd say are your best friends, they're the ones who you know what about? They would sacrifice for you, that they'd give up their time for you, that if you were sad, they would come over and try to cheer you up, that if you needed to move, they'd come lug your furniture down the stairs. It's sacrifice. That's it in a nutshell. This is the sacrificial system, and everything is about proving your devotion to the divine. But then, with Jesus, God completely flipped the script. See, rather than ask people, you and I, to do sacrifice after sacrifice to prove our devotion to Him, God gave Jesus as a once and for all sacrifice to prove His devotion to us. It's crazy. Scripture actually said that Jesus became all of the sacrifices, that He willingly walked through the flames of death for our sake, that He became the lamb that let the flames consume it. And in doing so, He completely redefined love. 1 John 3:16 puts it this way: "This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down His life for us." Well, what does that mean? It means this, friends. Love is sacrifice. It is lighting yourself on fire for the sake of someone else, putting yourself on the pile of wood, burning your rights, your plans, your ambitions, everything. And look, I know this is radically different than the definition of love that the world perpetuates. The world says that love is a deep feeling of happiness felt towards someone else because of how they make you feel. That's what it says. We know we're in love because we feel it. We feel happy when we're with each other. But when happiness fades, we believe that love, maybe it's left the building. Friends, nothing could be farther from the truth. Stop believing the lie. Happiness is a byproduct of love. Love isn't a byproduct of happiness. In fact, if you want to be happy, you have to change your goal from feeling happy every day to loving your spouse every day, to lighting yourself on fire every single day. In fact, this is the exact call that God makes to you. He says, this thing of sacrifices, I don't need you to do that for me anymore. I don't need you to prove your devotion to me anymore. We're good now. Rather than that, what I want you to do is to do what I did for you for others. The very next phrase in 1 John 3:16, very next sentence says this: we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters. If you want a great marriage, you have to understand a loving marriage is a sacrificial marriage. The call to sacrifice yourself for your spouse. And here's the big thing, not when they deserve it. So let me ask you a question. When did Jesus sacrifice himself for you? Was it once you had it all together? Was it once you proved yourself to him? Was it once you showed him you finally kicked that one bad habit? Oh, I'm good now, Jesus. And he's like, yeah, now I'll sacrifice myself. Was it when you memorized enough Bible verses? Finally got all your crap together? No, not at all. The Bible says that he sacrificed himself for you at the precise moment that you didn't deserve it. That's what Romans 5:8 says. It says, but God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. When you're married, the sacrifice is you, and it's for the sake of your spouse. Love is taking your match, and it's lighting yourself on fire and letting the flames completely consume you for their sake. Friends, the only match that matters in your marriage is the one you wake up holding every single day. This isn't a one-time thing. It's an everyday decision. One of those everyday decisions for me is about running, because a number of years ago, Sarah got into running, probably 5 or 6 or so. Started as like, she'd go for a 3-mile run and I'd watch the kids, it took, I don't know, an hour. But then she decided she wanted to run marathons. And do you know how much time it takes to run marathons? I do, because it's a lot. She'll go on like 4 or 5 hour runs on Saturday mornings. One of the ways I saw I could light myself on fire for her is to watch the kids. So I do, because see, running for her, it's not just like a physical benefit thing, it's like a mental, emotional, everything health thing. So every Saturday morning, I watch the kids. I do pancakes, clean up, I get them dressed, get them going for the day, and then I make lunch, and I clean up, and I watch him while he stretches. And the thing is, it's costly. But I do it for her because it's a way I can sacrifice myself. I see that it's worth it. A number of months ago when COVID hit, she just started a new job and I could tell it was just stressing her out, and she'd get to the end of the day and just wiped, just get to the end of dinner before the kids were getting put to bed, and she was just so exhausted. So I decided to light myself on fire. I said, babe, you stay downstairs. I'll do bedtime from now on. She hasn't walked upstairs to put the kids to bed, to brush their teeth, to tuck them in, to read them a book, and then another book, and then another book, and all that stuff in months. And it's costly. It hurts. I'm tired too. But I do it because love is sacrifice. It's lighting yourself on fire. And in our marriage, I'm thankful to say, it's not a one-way street. It goes both ways. She does the same thing for me. A couple years ago, we were living in this great house. It was a house we bought at a steep family discount, old and big, and she'd worked for 4 or 5 years to make it ours. And it was just perfect. In a beautiful running neighborhood, by the way, like the best running routes. She loved it. But it was kind of in the place where houses are packed together, not a lot of yard, not a lot of room to move around. And for me, see, I grew up out on land, out on property. got to roam in the woods and explore. And I think a lot of my creativity, a lot of my courage, spontaneity even, comes from those times. Growing up as a kid, getting to explore and not worry about stuff. And I wanted that for our kids. So one day I said, hey babe, what do you think about moving out to the country, about selling this place? And the truth is, she didn't want to do it, but she did. We sold that house. We bought a house out on 6 acres. And she traded a perfectly manicured house for what is at this point a 2.5-year construction project and still going. You know the crazy thing? She'd do it again. I know she would. See, I know she knows something. Every day she wakes up with a match and she chose what to burn, herself. She'd do it again. See, a transcendent marriage will cost you everything. But don't get stuck on what it costs. Yes, it costs everything, but it is worth so much more. Because of my marriage, I am stronger, I'm more confident, I have a safe place where there are no secrets. I am a better person in so many ways. This message is better. I made her sit and listen to the entire thing and she made it better. This is marriage. The flames refine you and make you better, and you can have it. You can have it. But you have to be willing to light yourself on fire and burn down everything. Well, where do you start? Start with a scorecard. Early in our marriage, the scorecard was part of every conversation. It was stuff like, who did the laundry the last time? How many times have I done it versus how many times have you done it? Or how many times did you do the dishes last week versus how many times did I do the dishes last week? Or things like, how many days last week did we have sex versus not have sex? How many nights were you out versus me? I don't know what's on your scorecard, but I know you have one. Maybe it's how many nights she's been away traveling for work, or how much money he spends on camping gear, on his music hobby, or whatever. Here's the thing, friends. Most couples have a scorecard, but most happy couples don't. If you want a transcendent marriage, you have one choice. You have to burn the scorecard. Doesn't matter who did laundry. Doesn't matter. Utterly doesn't matter. You have to burn it. You have to burn everything. You can save nothing. You might have to burn your nice nights where you just get to sit and relax and have a good night watching whatever you want to on TV. Maybe for you, it's burning that job that takes you away, keeps you up late at night, keeps you away from the house. Maybe it's burning your weekend hobby that you love. Maybe it's burning your weekends with the guys. Maybe the thing that you have to burn is that habit that you know you should have kicked a long time ago, but you haven't. The one where you just get high and you just get checked out. Burn it. Burn everything. Anything you save becomes a barrier. Everything must go. Maybe it's the job that has you out of town. Burn it. Woo! You gotta burn your habit of checking out at night. You sit on the couch and you decide, maybe I'm just gonna surf the internet while you sit next to me checking your phone. Burn it. Everything must go. Sacrifice is everything. Maybe it's your hobby, the dream you've held on to a little too long. It's time to let it go. Let it go, friends. Save nothing. Everything has to be burned. Everything. Every dream that's not in the picture, everything. Maybe the thing that you have to burn is all the care and attention you give your kids, and you have nothing left for her. You gotta burn it. Because friends, every day you wake up with a match and you will burn something to the ground. It will either be yourself or your marriage. One leads to loss and loneliness, and the other leads to a lifetime of love. So what will be? What will you burn to the ground?
Crowns and kingdoms building up a wall. Towering around us when we fall. What if we strike a match, set ourselves on fire. Bring the fire when the love is at the limit. Bring the fire burning everything in it. Yeah. Yeah. Bring the fire when the love is at the limit. Bring the fire burning everything in it. Yeah. Yeah. Burn it. Let's just burn it all.
If these walls could keep your hand from mine, before they grow much too steep to climb, can we just strike a match, set the walls on fire, burn it up, strike a match, set ourselves on fire.
Bring the fire when the love is at the limit. Bring the fire burning everything in it. Yeah. Yeah. Bring the fire when the love is at the limit. Bring the fire burning everything in it. Yeah. Yeah. Burn it. Let's just burn it all. Set it on fire, set it on fire, keep our love alive. Set it on fire, set it on fire, keep our love alive. Set it on fire, set it on fire, keep our love alive. Keep our love alive, keep our love alive. Bring the fire when the love is at the limit. Bring the fire burning everything in it. Yeah. Yeah. Bring the fire when the love is at the limit. Bring the fire burning everything in it. Yeah. Yeah. Burn it. Let's just burn it Let's just
You want a great marriage? You have a match. Use it. Start with this. Tell your spouse the things you've been holding back on. Write them down on a piece of paper, strike the match, and burn it in front of them. It will be more powerful than the day you walk down the aisle. Because when you sacrifice yourself, you will unleash love like never before. Then you'll become one of those couples. One of those couples that everyone envies. The happy ones.
So I want you to sit in this moment. This is not a moment to run away from or pass you by. I want you to sit right here. Whatever you're carrying right now, you can bring it to God. It's heavy or light. You can bring it to God. God uses words like refuge and shelter to describe himself. That's who he is. And so we put these songs together to help you connect with him. They're not music videos for you just to watch. These are tools to help you connect with God. These are videos of us with cameras on, yes, but us crying out to God to help you cry out to him right here and right now.
Days may be darkest, but your light is greater. You light our way, God, you light our way. When evil is rising,
We want you to thrive this winter, not just survive. So we're gonna give you helpful tools along the way to help you do that. So don't miss out on anything. Subscribe right here.
And if you want to know more about what we're about at Crossroads, or maybe more importantly, what God might want for you, you can look at a playlist of videos right here. We're going to see you next time.